and you are allowed to fail forward. Not fail, fail forward. You are allowed to make a mistake. My name is Aubrey Lynch, and welcome to my channel. So let's talk about self-confidence and what it means to be unshakable in your self-confidence. It's something I think we can take for granted sometimes. Self-confidence is believing in yourself and feeling like you can do something, and I want to believe that most people are fairly confident about what they're doing in their lives, but there are times when we feel like something's not quite right. We don't feel comfortable. We maybe hold back. We sometimes avoid certain situations because we're just not feeling like we're strong in that part of our life. What I've learned in my ups and downs and all around my crazy, crazy life is that self-confidence must be unshakable. You have to be absolutely unshakable in your self-confidence. I was working with an executive coach a few years ago, Dr. Keisha Brown, and at one point in our conversations about what I was going through, she said, "Aubrey, you must be unshakable." And the way she said it, it was like the whole earth stood still a moment. Yeah, you're right. I was like, why am I so shaken? Why am I letting these voices and real situations and real voices shake my confidence? I'm the same person I was when I did X, Y, and Z. And so why can't I handle this? It's very easy to think you can't handle something, but you can. You really, really can. A lot of what we are afraid of when it comes to our inner self are anxieties and fears that are never going to manifest. They're never going to happen. And if they do, you'll figure it out. You'll get through it. So I'm remembering that coaching session when she said, you must be unshakable. And I thought, okay, what would it take to be unshakable? To really be unshakable? And it occurred to me to, first of all, think about the things you've done. I don't care how small they are. They are leaps and steps that take you to where you are. They're real. They happened and you did it. That's proof that you can succeed at what you want to succeed in if you put your mind to it. So I like to play the movies in my head of all of the fun things I did and all of the achievements I've made in my life. Two, what you can do is talk to someone from that time. I find myself talking to people that knew me when and have seen me progress through the world or were part of something that I was really, really proud of, and hearing them speak and talking to them really fills my heart and reminds me, oh yeah, I'm pretty cool. I did it, right? I really did some fun stuff. Confidence is not about being fearless. It's not about bulldozing walls and standing there like Superman or Wonder Woman, right? It's not about that. It's about actually acknowledging your fears. I'm afraid of that. I'm not sure I can do that. I think that's out of my league. To acknowledge that. And then to ask yourself, is that real? Or is that your voice telling you to back up because you're afraid that something might happen, right? You have to think about the context of your own fears, but you evaluate yourself. Is that fear real? And then you want to challenge yourself to face these things, whatever it may be in your life, whatever you're trying to achieve. Face it. Look it dead in the eye and say, I'm going to do my best. And if it does not work, then that's fine. That's part of life. Everything's not going to work. But self-confidence is not about being absolutely fearless all the time. It's about being afraid sometimes and acknowledging that fear. You got to say, okay, I hear you. I'm afraid. And we're moving forward anyway. Step forward despite your fear. You got to do it. As Serena Williams said, I am lucky that whatever fear I have inside me, my desire to win is always stronger. I love that. I love that. And she's so right. Your desire to win has got to be stronger. The why behind what you're doing has to be so important that you will step forward despite your fear with all of yourself. believing in yourself, trusting your talent, trusting your training, trusting your skills, and remembering who you are and remembering those times when you were successful, when you thought you couldn't be. That's what you have to do. And it's not easy, we all have moments, Lord knows I have moments where I am totally like, what am I doing? But what gets me through is remembering, I did it already. I have nothing to prove. Sometimes I tell myself, Aubrey, look what you've done. Would you stop playing drama and get to it? It's true. I get shaken sometimes. It's as confident as one may be, it's easy to get shaken. And when that happens, let's channel our inner Serena and make the will to win and the belief to do and the why behind what you're doing more important than the fear, so that nothing's going to stop you from at least trying. And you are allowed to fail forward. Not fail forward. You are allowed to make a mistake and to learn that, okay, well, that might be a little bit out of my range. That's my thing. But sometimes you don't know if you don't try. You have to try. When I look back at my life and I think of some of the extraordinary experiences that I've had, it's what I used to get through. I can remember when I was made the dance captain of the Lion King. And I had never been a dance captain before. I knew of dance captains, and I think I had the skill set because I had worked in dance for such a long time. But this was a Broadway show. And I remember feeling very afraid all the time. And I taught myself to work through it by saying, just focus on the work. Just do the work. Ask questions, be humble, and you're going to figure it out. And that job led to another job, led to another job. And before I knew it, I was mounting the show 14 times around the world. 14 times of the Lion King. That was such an incredible time. And of course I faced moments that were very, very scary and crushing and devastating and humiliating, embarrassing. But I always kept stepping forward and trusting that I would figure it out. Even when it was clearly outside of the realm of my ability. I figured I'm going to keep going until someone stops me. I'm not going to stop myself. You also have to train. You got to train. Whatever it is you're trying to do, stay up on the skills you need to do that thing well. And if they become rusty, get back in training. If it's something that you can't do or don't know how to do, take a class, find a mentor, an executive coach, whatever it takes to get you through, train. Training will build your confidence. The more you know, the more you can do. Think about dancers. They train every day. Even at the peak of their career, they're training every day. And anyone in business, I would imagine, should be doing the same. Should be completely developing their skills, wanting to be better managers, wanting to know the industry better. It's the same thing. It doesn't mean getting a class every day, but it does mean be aware that we should try to keep a beginner's mind and be willing to learn something new or relearn something old and see it new again. Training. Gotta train. Another critical part of self-confidence and building your confidence and having unshakable confidence is fortifying your resilience. The more you learn to recover, the more confident you'll be that you'll survive whatever situation you're put in. You have to be willing to make a mistake and know that you will recover. You'll figure this out. And you only learn that by doing this. You got to push a little bit past your ability sometimes to learn something new and to figure out how far you can go and to be resilient, recover, get back up and just keep it moving. And do me a favor. Believe in your abilities and trust your inner strength. You are stronger than you think you are. And when you're feeling a little bit doubtful about your abilities, trust and believe you can. As Meryl Streep said once, if you think you can't, you can't. So don't think you can't. Think that you can. If you think you can, and maybe you know you can, then you gotta just do it. And it's not gonna be fun sometimes. Stepping forward despite your fear is not fun. I can remember times I stepped forward and made a fool of myself. But I also remember times when I stepped forward and I succeeded. I actually remember that moment when I was invited to be the associate producer of The Lion King. And I had been with the show for probably 5, 6 years, maybe more. And I will be in charge of all of the creative aspects of the show, all the casting, anything that you see would be me and the team to figure out how to make these shows happen all over the world. I was like, what was I thinking? Oh my God, I look back and I say, how did I do that? I mean, I even was thinking, Aubrey, you have the audacity to think you can do that? Of course I do. I was like, yes, I do. It's like, who was I to think I could do that? And that's the point. I dare to think that I could, knowing that I was afraid and maybe I couldn't. I don't think that actually entered my mind. I don't think I ever said, I don't think I can do this. I said, I know I can do this. I don't know how I'm going to do this, but this feels right. It feels way bigger than I am, and still I know I can do it. At that point, I had proven in my life that I could face a challenge, and that's what I mean about awakening in yourself. All of those things you did, no matter how humble, they add up to who you are, and I think that's what I did. And I went on for a number of years and produced 14 productions. And let's face it, there were times when it was painfully evident that I was beyond my ability. There were things I faced that were new and uncomfortable, and there were times where I failed publicly. Thankfully, I had people around me that believed in me, and people that trusted me, people that I trusted, who helped me through those times and forgave me. And when that happened to others, I was there for them. It was a beautiful family of creativity, and I miss them all very, very much. And there are times where I am so embarrassed about the things that happened. That did not shake my confidence. That built it. It built my resilience. And that's why I think now I continue to move forward in my life despite my fears. And there were no real huge disasters, but they were, when you're working on the biggest show in the world, even a small disaster can be a big one. And I got through that. And I'm saying this because I know you can too. You just have to believe you can and make the why so important that nothing's going to stop you. Certainly not the fear in your head of things that are never going to happen. And when it's shaken, even unshakable confidence can be shaken. It's just shaken a little bit. Kind of get back up and stand in your light and do what you do. I thought it was important to talk about this, and I want to talk about it some more. But for now, remember this. Be unshakable. And when you find yourself shaken, shake it off and keep stepping, because you got this. If you like this video or videos like it, please like and subscribe and join my channel, and let's stay on this road of self-reflection and increasing our emotional intelligence and being the beautiful beings that we were put on this earth to be. See you there.